Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Spark Education. And today's topic is going to be that how you can apply for work permit online. For the work permit, if you're outside Canada, how you can apply by yourself. You don't have to go to the immigration consultant. You don't have to pay any fees or anything. How you can check what are the requirements, what are the documents you're gonna need, and how you can prepare them by watching just my video. So what I did, I just went to Google and typed in how to apply for work permit online outside Canada. If you're outside Canada, how you can apply for the work permit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the website which has canada.ca, www.canada.ca. The reason is I wouldn't go for any other websites because those are made by other immigration centers. Those will charge you and won't tell you the right way, or probably will charge you for just the right way. So make sure you have to go to canada.ca, which is the Canada government's website. It says Government of Canada. It is Government Canada's website. You go in and you can read about the process, what is the process, how long it takes, who can apply, and then I am going to be how to apply. This is today's video about. So it says how to apply. My first question is where you're residing, where you're applying from. I'm applying from outside Canada, as we said. And then I am not a postgraduate, and I am not a Ukrainian. So going to another type of worker. People who perform or support essential work. If you are going to work as an essential worker, you can check in. If you are essential worker, are you going to perform essential service? You can check in here. Right? I know what I'm going to type in. So I will go get the application to work in Canada. I went in and there I see apply online for work permit. First question is how are you applying? I am applying online. And then where are you applying from? Applying from India. Here is the instruction guide. So all you have to do is make sure you read the instruction carefully, read each and every question carefully, so it won't distract you, because there are so much information here on the website which will distract you, of course. Well, that which is okay. You should have the information before you apply for a visa, but make sure you don't get distracted from your path. And today's path is how what documents do I need to gather for my work visa. All right. So it says what kind of documents do I need. All right. Let's start from here. What is work permit? It tells me what is the work permit is. Work permit is issued by an officer, allows a person who is not a citizen or permanent resident of Canada to work in Canada. Okay. All right. Which we are. We are not residing in Canada right now, but we need the work permit to work in there under an employer who is currently in Canada. Employer could be outside Canada, but you can apply in Canada because the company is situated in Canada, within Canada. Okay, let me find out. Alright, here we are. We were going to read about gather the documents. What documents do I need? Here is my checklist. You can read all this. You need the proof of identity, proof of your ID, which could be passport. I would go for passport because that's the only thing I have that's the travel document I have, and then you need two photos. Make sure your photos are according to the visa specification giving on the Canada website, because it should be according to the specification which is given on the Canada website. Would you if you get another one, that could delay your application. And proof of employment in Canada, of course, your offer letter from your employer. Proof of relationship. What is the relationship? If you're married, if you are living relationship, if you are you having child or some. Then you may have to give your certificate, your birth certificate and all that, your marriage certificate, other documents you need. If you are not a citizen of the country, you must send a proof of your present immigration status in your country or Canada. For example, if I'm living in another country, not in India, then I would have to submit the documents. What is my status in another country? Do you plan to work in Quebec? Yeah, that one. If you're going to work under any employer in Quebec, that then you would require to submit a CAQ certificate to immigration officer. And translation of documents, if you have any document in another language, then you might have to submit the translation of document. Make sure you have to submit the notarization from an authorized person, because only translation is not enough. And make sure you don't do that yourself. You cannot do your translation by yourself, which will not be approved. Certified true copies you have to attach with that. Fill out the application. Here is our point. Application for work made outside of Canada, which is IMM 1295. Here's my checklist. Sorry. Okay, that was not the checklist. That was the document, one of those documents we need to gather before we apply. Okay, so this is one of the documents that you need for the checklist. So I'm going for the document checklist. Okay, this document will tell me about each and every document that I need for my visa application, especially the forms, and will explain me everything, what each and every document contains, what is in the document, so you can prepare yourself and your documents and your other funds and all that before you even apply for the visa. Funds, if we talk about funds, you should have the funds. If you have your family member, I will give you link in the description so you can check how much funds you need. If you have two family member, if you have three family member accompanying you within to going to Canada, then how much funds you need. I will make sure to attach the list or give the link in the description so you can check that online on Canada's website, or you can go to Canada website canada.ca and you can check it by yourself how much funds you need if you're applying for work permit outside Canada. You will find out that. Hi. So document checklist for work permit applying outside Canada. Uh, these documents you have to be very careful with them, because if you submit something else, if you submit some wrong information, it could be the case of misrepresentation, even you don't want it, and it could be end up delaying your application. Could take 6 months more than it's supposed to be. So make sure you're careful about it. This document checklist is one of those forms that you finally need to submit with your application. Consult the instruction guide IMM 547 to find out if you're required to provide some or all forms and documents listed in the checklist. You can check that in IMM 5487 if you want. If your documents are in language that other than English, as we read before, you can check with the responsible visa officer of your reason whether they needed to be translated. If any of the required documents listed below are missing, the process of application could be delayed, as I said. Gather your document in order of the checklist and check each item. So this is the checklist. As soon as you get that done, one of those forms, you can check that in here. That's what this form is for. But you can read all the information here. Form list. First of all, we have the forms we need to fill in. Application for work permit made outside of Canada, IMM 1295. If this application form is completed on a computer, it must be validated to generate a barcode page. Print and place the barcode page on the top of your application. If you're applying as a group, each individual application package should be validated. So when you're going to fill out this form, you will get a validation code at the end. When you get to fill out each and every column of the form, you go to the end of the page, you click on the validate button, and then you will get a barcode. That barcode you need to place on the top of the document. On the top of your document, that means your all the information is correct according to the website. If you are filling something that is wrong, that might be wrong, that you misspelled it or you might missed it, that you will not get your barcode. So that's the only reason you're not getting your barcode from that form. So make sure you filled your form correctly. And then here is family information form. Must be completed by those aged 18 or older than a minor traveling alone to Canada. Uh, this form need to fill out to each and everybody, I think, especially if you accompanying someone, if you're 18 years older, if you're a minor, or if you are traveling to Canada alone to Canada especially, you need to fill out this form. This form will contain the information about your family. It will contain information about your mother, about their name, about their father name, and what's the occupation and all that. It's not a big form. It's not even a big thing. But make sure you fill out every information from the genuine documents. For example, you could go with the passport. If your passport says what's the given name, you have to fill out the given name same as it is on the passport. So it wouldn't be a difficulty after that. Statutory Declaration of Common Law Union IM 5409. Refer to responsible visa officer for your reason. That one is only need to be filled out if you are living with someone. If you are in relationship with someone and are accompanying you to Canada, they're applying for Canada visa with you, or they want to come after you. So you can fill out this form so they can know about your partner, about the person with you who is coming to Canada. And use of a representative. You're using a representative to present your application in front of visa officer. You must fill out this form. You have to sign this document as well as your consultant. Complete this form only if you are using the service of an authorized representative or if you are appointing or canceling a representative. So you have to fill out this form every time you hire a consultant or you are trying to cancel the application through them. Authority to release personal information to designated individual IMM 5475. Complete this form only if you're authorized Immigration, Refugee Citizens Canada IRCC, and the Canada Border Service Agency CBSA to release information from your file case to someone else other than yourself. Uh, for I would say, in easy words, I would say, if I am trying to get my information from someone else, for example, my spouse, I should fill out this form in order to get this information so my spouse can get that information. I have to let that know to IRCC and CBSA uh, that someone else is going to get my information. So I can give that authority to someone else other than me. Document list. So what documents I need? These were the forms. These were only few forms or 4 or 5 forms you will need if they apply to you. These are not compulsory if they apply to you. For example, if you're not in a relationship with someone else, if they are not accompanying you to Canada, you don't have to fill out this form. Use of a representative, you don't have them, you don't have to fill out that form. And if you are not giving your authority to release your information to someone else, even your spouse, your children, and kids, anyone, you don't have to fill out this form. Right. Document checklist or document list. Fees payment. If everything is done, your application is filled out, your forms especially are filled out. At the end, you will get a payment method that you can pay the fees to embassy, and then you will get a receipt and biometric fees. You have to pay $85 biometric fees, and then you have to pay the fees for the work permit visa. Then verify acceptable method of payment with the visa officer or VAC responsible for your reason, and then you can get your biometric appointment done. There are some applicants who are exempt from paying the work permit fee. If you are one of them, submit document proving. So you have to submit the document with that. Visa officer do not accept payment receipts from the Canadian banks. Photocopy of the information page of your valid information or travel document, which includes the passport number, issue and expiry, your photo, name, date, and birth of place. Alright, so these one usually contain the first page of the passport, last page of the passport, and as well as the pages, as it says in the note here. If you require temporary resident visa for work application is approved, you will need to provide your original passport for the visa to be issued. Yes, you will need to send your original passport to the visa center so you can get your visa stamped on the passport. But I was going to talk about if you travel to any other country rather than your own country, your citizenship country, then you might have to include the pages which contains the stamps traveling to other country. You have to contain that too in the PDF of the photocopy of the passport. You should contain them, I would say. Two photos meeting the requirements of the visa application, photograph specification. They have the special measurement given on the Canada website. You can check that online, or you can click on that link, or you can go to canada.ca, visa specification, photograph, and then you will get that specification right there. You have to, on the back of the two photos, you have to write name and date of birth. If you are required to provide biometrics and BLC and photo, you are not required to include paper photos with your application. You don't have to include your paper photos with that if you are required to submit the BLC, the fingerprints or the biometrics fingerprints. And then our document list continues here. Proof of current immigration status. What is your status in your country you're applying from? What is your status in that country? You should include that proof. I would submit my passport in that, because that's the only thing says I am citizen of India, or says I'm not the citizen, or I am on the work permit or work visa. Photocopy of your marriage license. If you're married, you have to submit a photocopy of your marriage certificate. If you have the marriage certificate in any other language, then you can get that translated from an authorized person. You might have to attach the, uh, the notarized copy with that too, proving that that is true. Proof indicating you meet the requirements of the job being offered. If someone asks me why I am applying for the job, how am I being able to apply for the job, how I think I meet the requirements of that job, especially the one I'm applying for, I would go with the experiences I have from the other past jobs. I would include that, and any certificate I have, including my experience, my appreciation certificate, I would include that. And then here comes a copy of the LMI providing by Employment Social Development EST to your employer, or you could go if you are not a LMI based employee, or you didn't have the job offer from LMI, you should have the one exempt employment for foreign national exempt from LMI. That could be either IMM 5802 form or the offer of employment ID number. If your employer is exempt from the employer compliance reason, you must provide a copy of the employment contract. Yes, you should have the copy of the contract, because if you applying under employer, and you have all the information, you talk to them, you should talk to your employer about if you don't have the contract, because you might have to submit that with the application. You will have to include that in the application. And this one is LMI or LMI exempt or IMM 5802. These all forms you will get from the employer. So this is up to your employer. You might have to include LMI if you're LMI based employee. If you didn't get the LMI, your LMI exempt, or you can get the IMM 5802 from an employer, either the employment ID number. If work in Quebec, that's a different case. I'm not going for Quebec, so I wouldn't give preference to that much. But if you're going for Quebec employer, then you should talk to your employer about the CAQ and get that certificate to include with your application, submit with your application. If you are a provincial nominee, you have an offer of employment to a foreign national, NMI exempt, or either IMM 5802 employment ID number from an employer in the province or territory that nominated you. Provide a copy of the nomination letter issued by the province or territory that nominates you. This is the nomination certificate. You get the endorsement done, which is the nomination certificate outside, and that one you include right here. Because before you even apply for the work permit, you have to apply for the provincial nomination. If you want me to, include that video on my page on my channel, I would make that video too. That what is the checklist and how you can fill out these forms, and I can explain how each and every form is filled. We can discuss that in the next video. If applying for a postgraduate work permit, submit the proof of the final transcript and letter from the institution. These ones are only for those who are studying in Canada, those who had studied in Canada and applying for work permit within the Canada. If I would have studied in Canada, I would go for this one. With this one, I would have submit final transcript from the college and a letter from the institution, former notice of graduation saying that I'm graduated. You can submit a formal document. Any additional document required by the representative's office at the end, you have to submit any document that is required by your visa officer. They can ask for anything at any point, so make sure you check your emails regularly, and your website, your login ID as well. This is all for today. If you want to make another video about all these form, how to fill out this form, I can make that one too. But make sure you click on the subscribe channel. Make sure you like my video. And this is all for today. Thank you very much. Hope you have a good day.